As the morning sun crept over the horizon on April 26, 1865, Sergeant Boston Corbett leveled his rifle and fired a single shot. That bullet changed the course of American history. Corbett and his fellow soldiers had spent days tracking John Wilkes Booth, the assassin who had murdered President Abraham Lincoln, through the woods and backroads of Northern Virginia. The hunt had been relentless. Booth, a well-known actor and Confederate sympathizer, had fled Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C., after shooting Lincoln on the night of April 14. His escape set off one of the largest manhunts in American history. With a broken leg, Booth and his accomplice, David Herold, had crossed into Virginia, evading capture for nearly 2 weeks. By April 25, Union troops, acting on intelligence, finally closed in on Booth and Herold. They discovered the fugitives hiding at Garrett's farm, near Port Royal, Virginia. The two men had taken refuge in a tobacco barn, but they were now surrounded. Union forces, under the command of Lieutenant Edward Doherty, called for their surrender. Herold, frightened and unwilling to fight, immediately gave himself up. But Booth refused. The standoff continued for hours, with orders given not to fire. Soldiers set the barn ablaze, hoping to smoke Booth out. It was at that moment that Sergeant Boston Corbett took action. Through a gap in the barn's wooden slats, Corbett spotted Booth moving. Acting against orders, he fired his weapon. The bullet struck Booth in the neck, severing his spinal cord. Booth collapsed to the ground, paralyzed but still alive. He was dragged from the burning barn and placed on the Garrett family's porch, where he lingered for hours before finally whispering his last words. Booth's death may have closed one chapter of the Lincoln assassination, but it also opened another mystery, one that would haunt historians for generations. Among the items found on Booth's body was a small, red leather-bound diary. The diary contained handwritten notes and reflections, a potential window into Booth's thoughts and plans during his time on the run. This crucial piece of evidence was confiscated by Union officers and soon made its way to Secretary of War Edwin Stanton, the man overseeing the investigation into Lincoln's murder. Rather than presenting the diary immediately, Stanton locked it away in his personal safe where it remained hidden for years. 2 years later, during the 1867 impeachment trial of President Andrew Johnson, Stanton finally produced Booth's diary as evidence. But when it was examined, something was missing. The diary had contained 86 pages, but 18 pages were gone, ripped out, leaving only ragged edges behind. Stanton offered no explanation for the missing pages, fueling speculation and suspicion. What had those pages contained? And more importantly, who had removed them? Over the years, numerous theories have emerged about the missing diary pages. Some of the most debated possibilities include: one of the most enduring theories is that Booth did not act alone. While he had co-conspirators, several of whom were executed, some believe the missing pages might have revealed a broader plot involving powerful figures in the U.S. government. Did Booth name other conspirators beyond those already arrested? Could high-ranking officials, perhaps even members of Lincoln's own administration, have played a role in his assassination? If so, the missing pages would have been a motive for their removal.